Good morning, everyone. Students, today we are going to start our last chapter of this book, and the chapter is Dissolution of a Partnership, chapter number 8. Well, according to its name, students, dissolution of a partnership firm. Well, we have studied about the dissolution of a partnership, okay, many times in the previous chapter, as whenever there was a change in profit sharing ratio, admission of a partner, retirement or death of a partner. So there the partnership has been dissolved between all the partners, because whenever any changes are taking place in the partnership deed, that means the previous deed has been dissolved, means your partnership has dissolved. But here we are talking about the partnership firm, means the whole partnership, means no business will be existing. In the previous one, the business was existing, it was going on, only the previous deed has been cancelled and the new deed has been formed between the new partners, okay, and according to the change profit sharing ratio. But dissolution of a partnership firm means this firm is totally it's not in the existence, and we just sale of all the assets, and we make payment to all the liabilities, and that way we just close the firm, means dissolution of the firm, wound of the firm. So here the dissolution of a firm means business of the firm is discontinued, it is not continuing now, and as a result economic relationship between the partners and come to an end, means economic relationship between all the partners come to an end, and it is different from dissolution of partnership, which means change in relationship among the partners, but the firm continues, as I have explained just before. Now according to section 39, it's telling that Partnership Act 1932, dissolution of the firm means dissolution of partnership among all the partners of the firm, and in such an event all assets of the firm are realized, means we sale of all the assets, we realize the money, and we pay all the liabilities of the firm. Now the balance, if any, that is paid to the partners in the settlement of their accounts, as we prepare the partners capital account, and you might have noticed that we have a balance carried down in case of all the partners, okay, so their balances of the capital, so that we pay off if we have sufficient fund, okay. And if there is a shortfall in meeting outside liability, then these partners, they have to bring money in their profit sharing ratio, as we have already discussed that the liability of the partnership firm is unlimited. So it's telling, meaning outside liabilities, it is met by the partners in their partners from their private assets, right, being their liabilities are unlimited, so their personal property can be used for this purpose. Well, now we will study about the modes of dissolution of a firm, means what are the methods, what are the reasons because of that partnership firm comes to an end. Okay, the first one is by mutual agreement, that we know that at the time of formation of a partnership, in the deed they mention, okay, the kind of partnership, means they have constituted partnership at will or anything else, okay. So by mutual agreement, it's telling a firm may be dissolved when all the partners agree for its dissolution. If everyone is agreed on this point that yes, we are ready to dissolve the firm, so easily they can do without any problem. Next, it is telling compulsory dissolution. Compulsory dissolution means certain events takes place, like and forcibly they have to dissolve the firm. Like it's telling when all the partners or all the partner except one become insolvent. It's telling when all the partners became insolvent, right, declared insolvent, or you can say all the partner except one, एक नहीं हुआ है बाकी सारे हो गए, in that situation also your partnership firm comes to an end, okay. So all the partners except one. Now next, it is telling when business of the firm becomes unlawful. Unlawful means illegal business, illegal practices you have started doing in your business, so in that situation also your business come to an end. Compulsory disclosure हो जाता है, you don't have to do anything, the situations are like that कि आपका business बंद होगा. Next is by notice. In case partnership is at will, as we have discussed, so you have decided for a particular time period, और जब तक की आपकी इच्छा होगी आप continue करेंगे, and whenever you feel like to close, you close. So in that situation only notice is required. So in case partnership is at will, the firm may be disclosed by any partner giving notice in writing to all other partners of his intention to dissolve the firm. All right, students, he has intended his intention that I want to dissolve the firm, I want to leave the firm, so the firm will be discontinued. So it was by notice. And next one is on happening of an event. In situation, certain events happen that automatically the firm comes to an end, like on expiry of the term for which the firm was constituted. Okay, particular partnership we are talking about, for a particular venture we have constituted. Now that venture is over, so partnership firm will come to an end. Next, on completion of the venture, the same thing which I have explained. Okay. Third, on death of a partner, two people are there, one has expired, so automatically your firm has come to an end. On adjudication of a partner as insolvent, this we have discussed, so this comes in this also. Happening on of an event means partners became insolvent. Okay, so this will come to an end. So this was because of happening of certain events. And next we are talking about dissolution by court. In certain cases, court gives its orders or justice. Okay, so they have to shut down its business. So court may pass order for the dissolution of the firm when a partner becomes a person of unsound mind, means lunatic. कोई पर्सन पागल हो जाता है, अनसाउंड माइंड का होता है, सो कोर्ट कैन गिव यू द ऑर्डर. Next, a partner becomes permanently incapable of performing his duties as a partner. One of the partner is not capable to perform his duty, so the firm will come to an end. A partner is found guilty of misconduct which is likely to do adversely affect the business of the firm. Well, found guilty of misconduct and and adversely found the business of the firm, means it's against the business, right? So in that situation also your business come to an end. Partnership agreement is breached persistently by a person, by a partner or partners. Well, continuously some breaches in the agreement, whatever the agreement has been done, and one person is continuously breaking that agreement again and again, right? One partner or the more partners, so the partnership firm will come to an end. Court finds dissolution of the firm justified. Well, any other ground can be there. There are so many reasons can be there. So if court find that these reasons are sufficient enough, and so if certain reasons are existing, so court can give the order to wind up the firm. The business of the firm can't be carried on except at a loss. Continuously when the losses are there. Okay, so in that situation also court can, if one files an application for disclosure of the business, so court can give that order. Okay, so the business of the firm can't be carried on except at a loss. Fine. Well, now we have certain differences between dissolution of firm and dissolution of partnership. Although we have discussed a few one in the starting of this chapter, but let us see systematically. The first one is explaining about its meaning. So it's telling, it means when it comes to dissolution of firm, it means closure of the firm and end of business relationship among all the partners. Here, when the firm is dissolving, that all the economic relationship comes to an end between all the partners. It's not that one partner has left, so rest of them are continuing. No, with everyone all the relations has been breached. And here in the partnership you will find it means change in business relationship among the partners. The firm continues its business, means four partners were there and one has taken the retirement or has left the firm, so their relations will change, their profit sharing ratio will change, but the firm will be continuing. Okay, earlier the four partners were there, now three partners will be continuing with that firm, so the things changes but firm continues. Next it is telling, this is court's intervention. Okay, when court interfere. So it's telling it can be either voluntarily by the partners or compulsorily by the order of court, as we have discussed just before. Certain reasons for there. It can be by the partner and it can be compulsory order given by the court in the presence of certain circumstances. And here it is always voluntary. Okay, a dissolution of partnership, uh, only partnership means some partners were there. If one wants to leave, or it was partnership at will, or you have changed the profit sharing ratio, so this takes place with the mutual consent of all the partners. Okay, so this is voluntarily, but this happens in certain circumstances where the order can be given by the court also. Third, we are talking about the business continuation. Here business comes to an end completely, and here business continues. Closure of books of account. Of course, here your books of accounts will close. Okay, books of accounts of the firm are closed permanently because no business is existing. Here the business is existing, only the things has been changed. Okay, earlier some more partners were there, now the less are there. Earlier the less were there, now the more are there. Any changes? Okay, so books of accounts are continuing with certain changes. Next we have assets and liabilities. Okay, so here all the assets and liabilities, these are over. They have sold all the assets, they have realized the amount from sale of assets, and they have paid off all the liabilities. And here the things are existing. We have revalued, of course, at the time of changing in profit sharing ratio and at the time of admission and retirement and death. Okay, but these are existing. Now economic relationship. So economic relationship between or among the partners ends. Okay, and here economic relationship is still persisting between these existing partners. Effect: dissolution of the firm also means dissolution of partnership. Okay, dissolution of firm means dissolution of partnership. Automatically partnership will come to an end. Here uh, its effect is the firm continues. Maybe the dissolution of the partnership is there between ABC, they were the partner earlier, C has given the retirement. Now relationship has come to an end between ABC, but firm still continues, and now the relationships are there between A and B. Okay, so dissolution of partnership may or may not involve dissolution of the firm. Okay, right students, so here we have done the differences between dissolution of firm and dissolution of partnership. Now we will talk about the settlement of accounts. That's very important in case of dissolution of firm. Means at the time of dissolution, when you are going to dissolve, your firm is going to an end. So this is quite clear that you will sell your all the assets, you will realize some amount, and you use that amount to pay the liabilities of your business. So there is a proper sequence and system to pay off the liabilities. So that is what we are going to discuss here. Settlement of accounts. Accounts को कैसे settle करना है. So here two important things are there. These are settlement of accounts and payment of firms debts and private debts. Okay, so settlement of account, first we will talk about it, and that comes under the section 48 of the Partnership Act 1932, and it deals with this account when the firm is dissolved, right? So what are the treatments of losses? Students, when we have a loss, certain kind of loss, so first we try to set off it from the profits of the firm. If profit has certain firm has certain profit in the previous years, so first we try to set off this loss from our profits, and if profits are not sufficient, then we try to set off from the capital of the partners, and if still the capital is not sufficient, then we tell them to bring it from their personal resources, because the liability of the partnership is unlimited. So loss including deficiencies of capital is paid first out of profit, then out of capital, and lastly, if necessary, by the partners individually in the ratio in which they share profits. All right, students. So personally they will be paying. Second one is your application of assets. How do you apply your assets? Okay, so assets of the firm, including amount contributed by the partners to make up deficiencies of capital, are applied in the following order. There is a proper order, there is a system, proper sequence to use the assets. Okay, The first one, in paying firm's debts to the third party. Students always remember, first we set off all the dues of the third party. Okay, बिजनेस के बाहर की जो भी पार्टीज हैं पहले उनका हम पेमेंट करते हैं, ठीक है. सो इन पेइंग फर्म्स डेट्स टू द थर्ड पार्टी, फर्म्स के जो भी डेट्स हैं थर्ड पार्टी के लिए. ओके, एक फर्म का डेट होता है आपके लिए, मीन्स पार्टनर से कुछ ले रखा है, पार्टनर से लोन लिया है या पार्टनर की कैपिटल ले रखी है. एक होता है आउटसाइडर्स के लिए, जैसे सप्लायर्स हैं, क्रेडिटर्स हैं. तो फर्स्ट नंबर कम्स ऑफ द आउटसाइडर. ओके, सो in paying firm's debts to the third party. Then second one comes in paying to each partner ratably what is due to him on account of loan or advances. I've told you students, we always give preference to the partners in case of their loan, because loan is other than capital. Okay, capital was everyone's duty to pay, but a few partners who have provided the loan and advances to the firm, so they have helped the firm. Now this is the duty of the firm to pay them first. Okay, तो आउटसाइडर्स की लायबिलिटी के बाद सबसे पहले अब पार्टनर्स ने अगर कोई लोन दे रखा है तो उसको पेमेंट करते हैं, उसका टर्न आता है. देन कम्स इन पेइंग टू ईच पार्टनर ratably what is due to him on account of the capital. Well, the third number comes of the partners to get their capitals back, as we have prepared in partners capital account. Okay, जो भी हमारा पार्टनर्स कैपिटल अकाउंट में उनका बैलेंस आता है, इफ़ वी हैव सफिशिएंट अमाउंट एट द टाइम ऑफ डिसोल्यूशन देन वी पे दैट अमाउंट, एंड स्टिल इफ़ वी हैव रिमेन समथिंग, उसके बाद भी हमारे पास कुछ बचता है तो दैट वी डिस्ट्रीब्यूट टू द पार्टनर्स इन देयर प्रॉफिट शेयरिंग रेशियो. ओके, सो दैट इज़ द वे टू अप्लाई द असेट्स. आई मीन असेट्स को यूज़ करने का हमारा सीक्वेंस है. ओके, now next we have certain illustrations based on this system which we have discussed of the debts and assets, the sequence of the assets. Okay, so the first illustration is telling the firm of X, Y and Z was dissolved on 1st April 2020, and here Y demands that his loan of rupees 25,000 be paid before payment of capitals of the partner. Okay, तो वाई कह रहा है कि उसने जो लोन दे रखा है फर्म को वो पहले पे करो, पार्टनर्स का लोन बाद में पे करो, ठीक है. बट एक्स एंड जेड डिमांड द कैपिटल्स बी पेड बिफोर द पेमेंट ऑफ लोन बाय वाई. राइट, हु इज करेक्ट एंड वाई? Student, that's very simple. We have discussed that first. If somebody has given the loan, so that loan must be paid. So in this case, Y is correct. Okay, because Y is demanding his loan and advances, right? Rather X and Z, because X and Z, they are demanding their capital first. So first we have to pay the Y's loan, so Y is correct. Okay, next illustration is telling all the partners decide to dissolve the firm on 1st April 2020. Why a partner demands that his loan of rupees 80,000 be paid before payment of loan by Mrs. X of rupees 20,000. Okay, but X, another partner, demands that loan by Mrs. X should be paid before repayment of loan by Y. Who is correct and why? Students, we have discussed the sequence कि first we pay to the outsider, then we pay loan and advances of the partner, then if something remain then that goes to the partners. Okay, now we have two cases. One is Mr. Y who has given of course loan दिया है Y ने फर्म को, लेकिन Y फिर भी हमारा इंटरनल मैटर है, हमारा पार्टनर है. जबकि Mrs. X, तो X पार्टनर है लेकिन Mrs. X she is considered as an outsider. Are you getting? X होता तो वो इंटरनली होता, X क्योंकि पार्टनर है. ओके, बट मिसेस एक्स बाहर की हैं तो इसलिए मिसेस एक्स को हम थर्ड पार्टी ट्रीट करते हैं, एंड मिस्टर एक्स इज राइट, एंड फर्स्ट वी हैव टू पे द लोन विच वी हैव टेकन फ्रॉम फ्रॉम मिसेस एक्स. तो पहले हम मिसेस एक्स का लोन पे करेंगे एंड उसके बाद हम वाई का लोन पे करेंगे, फिर कुछ बचता है तो इन पार्टनर्स की कैपिटल पे करेंगे. ओके, now third illustration is explaining A and B are partners in a firm sharing profits in the ratio of 3:2. Okay, now Mrs. A has given a loan of rupees 20,000 to the firm, and the firm had also taken a loan of 10,000 from B. Okay, the firm was dissolved and its assets were realized rupees 25,000. State the order of payment of Mrs. A's loan and B's loan with reason. ओके, इफ देयर वर नो अदर क्रेडिटर्स ऑफ द फर्म, कोई और क्रेडिटर्स नहीं है, सो वी हैव डिस्कस इट. ओके, so it's telling they are the A and B are the partners, their profit sharing ratio is 3:2, and Mrs. A has given a loan of 20,000 का लोन मिसेस ए ने दिया है जो कि आउटसाइडर्स हैं. ठीक है, तो सबसे पहले हम आउटसाइडर को पे करेंगे. मिसेस ए का लोन हम पहले कर देंगे, 20,000 पे करेंगे. ठीक है, नाउ ही इज टेलिंग एंड फर्म हैड ऑल्सो टेकन लोन ऑफ ₹10,000 फ्रॉम बी. बी से लोन लिया है 10,000 का. The firm was dissolved and its assets were realized, and here assets are realized 25,000. ठीक है, तो पहले उनका पे करेंगे, उसके बाद हमने जो लोन लिया है तो 10,000 था. ओके, तो हमारे पास 5,000 बचा है, तो हम 5,000 इनका पे करेंगे पहले. ठीक है, सो इट इज एक्सप्लेनिंग हियर मिसेस एज लोन ऑफ 20,000 बीइंग आउटसाइड पार्टी डेट विल बी paid before repayment of B's loan. Okay, and B will be paid up to the available cash 5,000. ठीक है, B को ये 5,000 पे करेंगे. I hope it is clear what is the sequence to pay. I mean, whatever we realized from the assets, how to pay this. What is the order of making payment? First the outsiders, then partners who have given the loan and advances, then their capital, and if something remain, then in the profit sharing ratio to all the partners. Fine. Well, the next very important, the second point which we have discussed, payment of firm's debts and private debt. Now we will discuss about the debts. Means firm, if firm has taken certain loan from the outsiders. Okay, so debts which the firm owes to outsider are known as firm debts. Means firm ने अगर बाहर वालों से कुछ उधार लिया है तो that is termed as firm's debts, whereas the debts which a partner owes in his personal capacity are known as private debt. If partner has taken something on its personal capacity, अपनी personal assets पे लिया है, personal उस पे लिया है, तो वो उसका personal debt हो जाएगा. ठीक है, now following provisions apply in case of firms debts and partners private debts. Now students, it's very important, please take care. Now you know, we have two debts. If somebody has two debts, कि एक ये firm का debt है और दूसरा उसका personal debt है, right? उसकी कुछ प्रॉपर्टी है, कुछ फर्म की प्रॉपर्टी है, कुछ पर्सनल प्रॉपर्टी है, तो किस सीक्वेंस में आप उसको यूज करते हैं. सो द फंडामेंटल इज वेरी क्लियर. इफ यू हैव फर्म्स डेट, राइट, फर्म के कुछ डेट्स हैं और आपके पास फर्म की प्रॉपर्टी है, तो पहले फर्म की प्रॉपर्टी यूज की जाती है फर्म के डेट्स पे करने में, एंड इफ समथिंग रिमेन, राइट, देन कम्स द नेक्स्ट नंबर. एंड इसी तरह से आपका पर्सनल प्रॉपर्टी फर्स्ट यूज टू पे द पर्सनल डेट्स, एंड अब आपकी अगर पर्सनल प्रॉपर्टी बचती है एंड इफ द कंडीशन इज एप्लीकेबल कि आपका बिजनेस में कुछ कम पड़ता है, ओनली देन योर पर्सनल प्रॉपर्टी कैन बी यूज टू पे द बिजनेस डेट्स. ऑलराइट, पर्सनल प्रॉपर्टी से पहले आप पर्सनल डेट्स पे करेंगे, एंड ऑफ कोर्स योर पर्सनल असेट्स कैन बी यूज टू पे द बिजनेस डेट्स, ऑफ कोर्स, बट पहले वो पर्सनल डेट्स के लिए यूज की जाएगी. ओके, so here two conditions are given. First, firm's property is applied for payment of firm's debts. Okay, second one, private property of each partner is applied first towards the payment of his private debts, and surplus, if any, okay, is applied towards payment of firm's debts. All right students, so that way this is the sequence to use. Now we will talk about the differences between firm's debts and private debts. Here the meaning we are talking about. So it's telling that firm's debt means the debt owned by the firm to outsider. Firm debts का मतलब क्या है कि your firm is owing something to the outsider. firm ने बाहर वालों से कुछ उधार लिया है, and here this is personal debt is what? Personal debt means debts owned by a partner personally, personally to any other person. Means private debt है, आपने किसी पार्टनर ने लिया है, ठीक है, एंड लाइक अपनी पर्सनल प्रॉपर्टी पे लिया है. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट इज योर लायबिलिटी. हाउ दिस इज लायबल? ऑल द पार्टनर्स आर लायबल ज्वाइंटली एंड सेपरेटली फॉर द फर्म्स डेट्स. ओके, फर्म का कोई डेट है जो फर्म ने लिया है, बाहर से किसी से उधार लिया है, सो ऑल द पार्टनर्स आर लाइबल. आइदर like jointly or separately, they have to pay this. Okay, and here this is concerned partner is personally liable for his personal debts. That's very clear. If Mr. A has taken the debt on its personal property, so Mr. A will be liable to pay, right? Here Mr. B, I mean rest of the partners have got nothing to do with this concept. Okay, नेक्स्ट वी हैव एप्लीकेशन ऑफ फर्म्स प्रॉपर्टी, कि फर्म की जो प्रॉपर्टी है उसको आप कहाँ अप्लाई करेंगे. फर्म्स प्रॉपर्टी इज अप्लाइड फर्स्ट फॉर द पेमेंट ऑफ फर्म्स डेट्स. ऑफ कोर्स वी हैव डिस्कस, फर्म की प्रॉपर्टी पहले आपके फर्म के डेट को पे करने के लिए यूज़ की जाएगी. एंड हेयर शेयर ऑफ द कंसर्न पार्टनर in excess of firm's property over firm's debts can be applied for payment of private debts. Okay, so it's telling share of the concerned partners excess of firm's property over the personal debt. Okay, means firm की जो property है आपकी, right, वो उस पर आपने firm के debts पे कर दिए हैं. अब आपके share में कुछ extra है. ओके, फर्म्स के सारे डेट्स पे करने के बाद आपके पास कुछ एक्स्ट्रा बचता है, सो दैट कैन बी यूज टू पे योर पर्सनल डेट्स, अदरवाइज नो. ओके, नेक्स्ट वी हैव एप्लीकेशन ऑफ प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी. ओके, दिस वाज द एप्लीकेशन ऑफ फर्म्स प्रॉपर्टी. फर्म की प्रॉपर्टी कैसे यूज़ की थी, पहले फर्म की डेट्स को पे करने के लिए, कुछ बचता है तो पर्सनल के लिए. अब यहाँ पे है एक्सेस ऑफ पार्टनर्स प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी ओवर हिज प्राइवेट डेट्स कैन बी अप्लाइड फॉर पेमेंट ऑफ द firm's debts. Right students, means firm की personal, I mean partner की personal property personal debts को pay करेगी पहले, and if you have something extra surplus then that can be utilized to pay the firm's debts. And here it is telling private property is applied first for payment of the private debts, then towards the firm's liability. Okay, so here we have we have discussed all the differences between these two. Our next topic is accounting on dissolution of partnership firm. Well students, as we have discussed the accounting treatment in case of admission, retirement and death, and we know that what we have prepared, first we have calculated the new profit sharing ratio, then we have prepared the revaluation account, then we have prepared the partners capital account, and then we have prepared the balance sheet. Okay, so what are the accounting treatments in this regard? Well students, now there is no similarity of this in this chapter compared to the previous one, right? Change in profit sharing ratio, okay, admission, retirement and death, all these chapters were interrelated to each other, and more or less the formulas and the contents were almost same. But in this chapter everything is different. Okay, so here the first account which we will be preparing, that is realization. Students, please open your ears and mind. There it was revaluation and here it is realization. Realization का मतलब होता है वसूल करना, वसूली खाता, because here we are selling of the assets and making payment to the liabilities. So first we will be preparing the realization account, then loan by partners account. If some partner has taken the loan, so we prepare the loan account and we set off the liability. Then loan by firms to the partner account we prepare, and then partners capital account. Of course we have to find out what is the final liability towards the partner of the firm. And then instead of the balance sheet, there in the last we used to prepare the balance sheet, and if your balance sheet matches, that means your question is correct. But here we don't prepare the balance sheet. Reason is very simple. When your firm is not existing, because you are dissolving and you have dissolved the firm, when your firm is not existing, so why and how you can prepare the balance sheet? So here we prepare the bank account or cash account. When your bank account or cash account matches, that means there is no problem in your question, and your question is correct, right? Almost everything is correct in your question. Fine students. So I have just told you the accounts, and one more interesting and good thing students, here we don't have to calculate profit sharing ratio. Okay, new profit sharing ratio of the firm, no sacrificing ratio. no gaining ratio, no calculation of the goodwill. Okay, so nothing of the sort. These kind of things we don't have to calculate, so we can say this chapter is very easy, very interesting and very easy, right? So go through this theory portion properly, and in the next video we will start our practicals. So keep learning by the time. Thank you.